So originally I was going to do a kind of Wonder Woman 84 versus Captain Marvel of how, again, not by much, but what a better kind of female superhero film should sort of be like. But I unfortunately went back and looked at Your Movie Sucks or Adam's reviews of Captain Marvel, and boy, it was horrible. Now, I'm not sticking up for Captain Marvel. I would agree that's a very, very mediocre film, but honestly, he convinced me it's not as bad as people think it is. It's still pretty bad in many places, but yeah, him giving it a 4 out of 10, I'm like, okay, is he going to provide good reasons? And nope. In fact, he contradicts himself all over the place in the review and just makes no sense whatsoever. There was literally only one half reason he gives why this might be a bad film, and it's like, that's not strong enough to make it a bad film. So you're just making up stuff and just being an idiot. And let's hear him for himself, because this stuff is howlingly stupid.
The film was also incredibly tonally inconsistent. They spend the entire movie building up Captain Marvel as a super important character in a super serious movie, and then we get to this big fight scene that they've been building up to and they play Just a Girl by No Doubt. What the fuck? It would make a lot more sense if the entire film was presented as this Guardians of the Galaxy type thing, but it wasn't at all. So the choices in this scene felt like they came out of nowhere. If her character was written as some lovable dopey dumb goof, then sure, this could have worked, but they instead spend the entire movie insisting on how important and serious she is.
So the tonal inconsistency, I guess, is they played a 1990 song and it didn't sound like Guardians of the Galaxy. So the 1990 song sounded really out of place. But there's a problem with that, as he himself shows and explains.
But okay, there are some aspects I enjoyed about the film. I enjoyed the production design when it came to recreating the 90s.
So yeah, it's not tonally inconsistent to play a 1990 song with No Doubt, which was led by a girl, and this was the era of girl power. Remember the Spice Girls? That's not tonally inconsistent. So what the hell are you talking about? And then he complains about an alleged plot hole with how Captain Marvel is able to contact people.
It did not make any sense. There are several points in the movie where she uses random wires that she got from Radio Shack to be able to hack a payphone so that she can communicate to spaceships. Not sure how any of that worked, but okay. And the first 10 to 20 minutes honestly felt like I was watching some shitty sci-fi TV movie. I know this.
Presumably the issue here would be, how did Captain Marvel do that? He literally complains that, yeah, for the first 10 minutes, it felt like I was in a sci-fi film. Well, maybe in science fiction. Again, it doesn't always happen. That is true. That's a trope and not necessarily true. You have advanced technology. Sometimes in science fiction, you don't have advanced technology. Like in Dune, you actually have very basic technology. Very fascinating. You mix both. But in many cases, in science fiction, you have advanced technology. The Kree in the comics are very, very advanced. Now, I'm going to be nice. I'm not going to refer to the comics here because I would just devastate him with just how much knowledge I have of the Kree. And by the way, I only have a few comics about the Kree, but I know enough to just make him look like a complete clown. And I do know Marvel, the real Captain Marvel, in the film. So unless you're complaining about the exact ways that communication could work, yeah, it's very believable that she could, quote, use Earth technology, maybe advance it a little bit, and then contact somebody. That's not a plot hole. That's not even an issue. And you yourself admit the genre is science fiction. So your issue is what? And he keeps going on like this. He just offers a complaint, but it's like, that's not a strong enough complaint to say it's a really bad movie. It's just like, you didn't like the particular perspective. Like, he says a lot of the jokes didn't work. The jokes didn't work for me either, but then you can't say, the problem with this film, it's not goofy enough. No, she's pretty goofy. They have both serious moments and goofy moments. I guess the goofy moments and serious moments didn't work for you. They didn't work for me either. That's not a strong enough reason to say, it's a really bad movie, guys, don't see it. I can't say that. I'd have to say, compared to Morbius, this was fairly well done in many places. Morbius I'd have problems with saying, Yeah, this was really good. It has a lot of hidden gems. I really can't say that. Whereas with Captain Marvel, there were many points of it which, even though I don't like the film and I do think it's very poor in many places, I thought, okay, those aspects seem to be done okay. So, I'd be forced to give it a at least passing grade. Definitely not a 4 out of 10. And I'll do more on this because, boy, this review is just a complete mess. It's like, okay, I'm already on your side. I'm not going to argue it's a great film, but wow, you're generating reasons why a lot of people just didn't even give this film a chance and are just stating a consensus because there seems to be a polarized audience here that you either like Captain Marvel and think it's a great film, it's totally fun and enjoyable, Brie, feminist, yay, girl power, or it's the worst thing of all time. It's just horrific. It's everything wrong with Brie and Marvel, MCU, superhero genre. Let's all watch Paul Thomas Anderson films. And I'm like, there really is a middling place where it's like, it's an okay film, but yeah, it really isn't that critical in terms of film history. If you want to be MCU completist, you do have to see it.
Fortunately, this film does not do a very good job at effectively communicating the seriousness and importance of this main character, so it just repeatedly insists it instead. Nah, see, you don't understand. Captain Marvel is the most important Avenger, and if you're only watching this movie because you're expecting some context for the next Avengers movie, then probably just skip it. But if you really
A few moments later.
but whenever she was involved, it was a lot less interesting. And it doesn't help when you consider the fact that she could just fly out into the atmosphere at any moment. I mean, that would be the easiest way for you to ensure that Thanos is not able to use the gauntlet, right? Why not just fly away with the gauntlet? I thought you could do that. You already destroyed his ship and he can't fly. Why don't you just get the fuck out of there? Did the movie forget she could do that?
And by the way, he's wrong about that. They do give a context why you need to see the film. That's actually very important in Avengers Endgame. But that's another reason Avengers Endgame is not a very good film, that they need to lean on a Brie Larson film to make its film more intelligible. And it doesn't even do that much. It really only offers a cure for about 2 plot holes. But believe me, Avengers Endgame has 20,000.